Where are we today? On the Zambo television. Last week I was full of the joys of spring, even although it's midwinter. Ready to stick the doors on the workshop, get that buttoned up, turn it into a recording studio, make the big hit records, move to Mauritius, retire, die of drug and alcohol overdose or something, I don't know. That was the plan. However, as with all things in my life, something appears to kick you in the scones. Saturday night, stood on about my way home. The van wouldn't start. The battery had run out. Nashed across to Halfords. My wife and my kid picked me up. Went to Halfords, got a new battery. Whacked it in the van. Van started okay, but the oil pressure warning light came on. So I'll talk you through it before I show you what I've done. Oil pressure light came on. So I just pulled the van over. I had to wait until Monday to get it recovered. Brought it down to the workshop. I've been in here Monday, Tuesday. This is Wednesday, I think. So what have I done? Went in the forums. The internet's a good and a bad thing, isn't it? Because every small problem in the world gets amplified. Somebody somewhere said something bad happened to them, but it's also a goldmine. The forum says replace the oil pressure sensor, which was a pain in the neck. I did that yesterday, brought the van down today, and today I've changed the oil filter over. Could it be something as simple as oil getting staff not moving through the filter? So now the two things have been done. The only other things I can think of is the oil pump is knackered. The van's done 180,000 miles. Or the engine's whacked. And it's worn so bad on the inside that it's showing low oil pressure. But I'm not getting smoke out the exhaust, and when I take the cap off the top of the engine, I can physically see oil moving about on top of the camshaft. Could it be an electrical fault? I don't know, but I don't want to drive a van. What is it today? The 19th of December? It always happens in the middle of winter, doesn't it? Fortunately, I managed to get the van into the workshop, and it means I've got someplace dry to try to work in it. So what have I done? New oil filter, new pressure sensor. That's not where the fault. I'll start it up. I'm paranoid about doing this because if the oil pump is whacked in it, I could potentially wreck the engine, couldn't I? Right, so there we go. It's not holding in it. That's the little oil can icon on the dashboard. And it's not going out, as they say in Scotland. No going out. So we'll very quickly switch the engine back off. What do? I think I should jump underneath it and take the sump off. That's going to disable the van, and it's going to be stuck in the workshop, isn't it? So that's a pain in the backside, but I don't know how to test the switch to see if maybe there's a short in the switch or something. When I disconnect it, that light goes out, and when I reconnect it, the light comes back on. So does that mean the switch is working? I honestly don't know. So you go through life under the temporary illusion of greatness. You've got a plan, then something comes along and drags you off the beaten track. As I said, when I take this off, there appears to be oil at the top of the... It doesn't look dry, you know. And I wouldn't even know how to measure the oil pressure. Don't know what the oil's saying. Can you see that? There's obviously oil on the rocker gear. Now, I drove it for about 100 yards on Saturday night when it came on. And it's been sitting, so surely if the oil pump was knackered, no oil would be making it up to the top of the engine. Honestly, this one's... Is it beating me? The new oil pump... Here's something interesting. I went on to Euro car parts for an oil pump. They're wanting about £110. An oil pump from Ford is 70. How does that work? So maybe it's always worth checking with the manufacturer before you buy bits. So replace the oil pressure sensor, which is that thing with the cable coming out. Where's my finger? There's the, yep. That's the pressure sensor. That goes out. That's a pig to get to. And I noticed as well, when I was here, I pulled that cable back and see the fluid coming out of that. I'm hoping I can chop that pipe, pull it across, and that'll save me having to do this. So, new oil pressure sensor, put a new oil filter in it. I've still got the fault. Today I was spent under the van and I went round all the bolts that hold the sump pan on and gave them a clean with some white spirit and a wire brush. It looks straightforward enough to get it off, but oh god. I hate working in vans, I'm not very good at it. People that do this for a living are going to have all the tools. If you've got a ramp to get it up on, it's much easier, isn't it? Or if you've got one of these things in the ground where a pit, you can get above it and all this type of thing, but try to work in the floors a pain in the neck. Saying that, yesterday I was out, and I don't want to show the registration number off there. Yesterday I was out in a street in Maryhill, lying in the rain, replacing that sensor, so at least I've got the benefit of having a workshop, haven't I? Don't knock it. So anybody with a Mk7 Transit, anybody that knows how to check the wiring on that little cable, if it was just a fault in the cable, that's great. If it's not a fault in the cable, I'm about to rip the sump off and try to replace an oil pump, so Merry Christmas and all that type of thing. Right, thanks for watching. And if anybody's got a Transit, please in the comment section, if there's any tips or tricks you can give me them. When I started the engine earlier on as well, I took the filler cap off. There's not black smoke coming out of it, there's no shit coming out of the exhaust, excuse me, there's no crap coming out of the exhaust. The engine's starting first, turning off the button, it looks as if there's plenty of compression in it, so I don't know. I've had this van for a couple of years and it's the first time I've ever really pulled the bonnet on it, you know. I'm going to say these are great little vans. Alrighty, thanks for watching, and again in the comment section, anybody, if you know anybody that knows anything about Mk7s, or these are real common engines, they're fitted into Range Rovers and taxis. Taxis wouldn't use them if they weren't good, they're common engines, so if you know, or you know anybody that may know, show them a video and ask them if they could give me a little help. I think today I'm going to drain the oil out of it in preparation for dropping the sump off it tomorrow. Alrighty, right, Merry Christmas y'all, bye.